Hi friends, this is Vicki with GrammaVickiCrafts, and here we are, Christmas in July. My first project, and it's a little Christmas tree with a little Santa inserted inside. This is made mostly with the Dollar Tree supplies, so stay with me now and follow me along, and I'll show you step by step how you too can make one of these for your Christmas in July. So let's get started making our little Christmas tree. So first of all, I have the little tree shape form. I got this last Christmas time from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to cut that tag off. We don't need that. And then I've got one of these self-adhesive tiles, also from the Dollar Tree. And that's what we're going to use. So I'll get this out of the package and then we'll get started. So I'll lay my tile down on my cutting mat, and this middle section here, I'm going to try to get that centered onto the middle of my little Christmas tree here. So I'm just going to set it down on there, and I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm just going to trace all along on the outside, all around my tree form, all the way around. And then we'll just cut that out with our scissors. So there we are. So now I have my shape on here. Not sure if you can see that. But anyway, I'll go ahead now and I'll just cut where I've marked out my tree. Now that I have the tree shape cut out, I am now going to take my little craft knife set that I got from the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to use my little knife here, and I'm just going to cut out all of this portion all along in here. So there we have that piece cut out, and there it is. So we're not going to be using that, so I can set that aside, possibly for another project. So now this white piece was attached to this tile, and we don't need that either. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tree and I'm going to lay this down on my tree, and I now want to put something back in behind there. So I've got a couple of pictures that I wanted to try and see. This one was from a calendar, and I'm just going to lay it in and just see how much of this will show of our Santa, and I might use this. So that's what that would look like underneath. So I might use that, but I've got something else I want to try as well. So I did decide that I was going to go ahead and use the Santa picture inside my little opening. So what I'm going to do now is I have some acrylic paint in vintage white is what it's called, and I'm going to go ahead and paint this little plastic tile in that color, and it might need a couple of coats, but I just want to do that and let it dry, And then I think it'll be closer to the color of my picture when I get ready to put it all together. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to go ahead, paint the rest of my tree in this vintage white, let it dry, and give it a second coat, and I'll be back. So now I've been working on my second coat, and I think I figured out that if I kind of pounce the paint, if I put the paint on my tree, put some on my brush, and then just kind of pounce it on here, it kind of fills it in a little bit better. Might take a little longer to dry, but I think it's going to give better coverage than just painting it like you would normally painting straight down. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to continue doing that for the rest of this. And I do think that that's going to look better. So I'll carry on, and then I will be back. So I went ahead and I put the picture in behind, and I just taped it on to the back of my cutout part. And then what I did was I just took my brush with a little bit of this wax, and I just dipped my brush in the wax, and then I daubed it off on my paper towel really good, and then I just went over it just ever so lightly all over. But you could do it as dark as you like. You could make it as dark as you like, but that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I like. So that's what mine looks like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Mod Podge my picture onto my board. So I'm just going to take my Mod Podge with my brush, and I'm just going to put the Mod Podge on my board, cover it up really well, all with Mod Podge, and then I'm going to place my picture down and press it down really good and make sure that it adheres. And then I'll just carry on and do the rest of it. So now I have a piece of ribbon, and I'm going to make a bow. Now, my ribbon strip is about 30 inches long. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I have my string in here to tie my bow together when I'm finished. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in to my Bodabra here, giving myself just a little short tail. Then I'm just going to the end of my Bodabra machine, and I'm just going to use that as my guide for the size of my bow. So that's going to be my first loop on this side. Then I'll twist it, and I'll do the same to get my loop on this side. And again, I'll twist it. And this time I'm going to make it just a tad bit shorter than the one that I did in the beginning by, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And then I'll twist it again, and I'll do the same thing on this side. So there we'll have our bow. So now we take our 2 strings here, our piece of cord that we put in first, and I'm going to tie that together. Nice and snug. And then we have our bow. I'll give it it another tie, just to be sure it holds. And there we have our bow. So now we can just fluff it up. And then I'm going to place it on my Santa tree right there with some hot glue. So now I have the bow attached, and I found these two pretty little leaves, and I think I'm going to just attach that in there as well. Now you could leave it just like it is. Just fluff up your bow and leave it like that. And then you can set it in your little stand if you have a little stand, or you could hang it on the wall just by putting a little hanger on the back. So I'm going to go and attach my two leaves, and then we'll see what it looks like. So there we have it, my first little project for Christmas in July, and I think it turned out pretty cute. So if this is something you'd like to do, I hope you'll try, and please like, give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, comment, and always remember to be kind. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.